Hello and welcome. My name's Christine Ely. I'm a Quality Reviewer at OCN London.
And I'm Brian Merrison, also a Quality Reviewer at OCN London. This first series of videos have been initiated by the Quality Review team at OCN London to provide guidance on key issues impacting the assessment and verification process.
They have been designed to help centres to improve standards and ensure smooth external verification.
The topic of this first video is setting assessment tasks. Now, tutors often underestimate the importance of this topic, but as quality reviewers, we're the ones who carry out external verification. And when we see well-described and structured assessment tasks, whether it's paper-based portfolios or work online, we know there's a strong likelihood that learners' work will show they're meeting the assessment criteria.
It's essential that your assessment tasks are designed around the assessment criteria, not just the learning outcomes. You need to focus on the specific verb that's been used. For example, if your assessment criteria asks for a list, then what you're expecting the learner to do is to provide one-sentence answers or one-word answers. Whereas if it's describe or explain, then it should be a bit of a longer answer, a few paragraphs, which detail the item that's been required in the assessment criteria. A demonstration is about performance, and an actual skill needs to be observed in reality, and in this case a written description by the learner wouldn't be appropriate.
When designing your tasks, try to get the learner to cover more than one assessment criteria. If we take an example from our adult enterprise qualification and the unit on generating and assessing a business idea, there are two criteria here. One where the learner has to identify potential markets for his or her business idea, another where the learner has to identify any potential competitors. It's easy to see that one task can be established involving the learner identifying both markets and potential competitors. That's just one task then, and that makes a very useful exercise anyway.
How much evidence? Well, the task needs to generate sufficient evidence, but not too much. Each assessment criteria only needs to be met once and not repeatedly. Read your task critically to ensure that your learner has an idea of what they're required in quantity. Ensure it's not too long or too short. For example, with a written description, you might like to advise the learner to not write more than 500 words. You'll find more guidance on how much the learner should produce on the assessment guidelines on the website.
Do make sure too that the tasks cover all the assessment criteria. This is really an essential step, a final check. It's a good idea anyway, many would say an essential item, to have a tracking sheet, and this will list all the assessment criteria in one column, and then in another column the assessment task that covers that particular criteria. This shows that all the assessment criteria are covered, and it's a document that can be used in a number of ways. In fact, basically to track the progress of each learner as they work through that unit. In fact, we recommend that a tracking sheet is placed near the front of each learner's portfolio, and is also available when the work is online.
Do remember to make your tasks interesting, imaginative and relevant. We're looking for quality as well, and if you need to engage the learners, it's got to be something that they can link to. If you, for example, are using a business unit, you could give them an example of a case study from a company that does mobile phones. Or if it's a unit about interview skills, you could give them a task which relates to the type of job that they might be going for.
The OCN London website has assessment guidance and other documentation which supports the development of assessment tasks. If you go to the centre area and look for a quality assurance section, that's where you'll find advice on assessment.
Thank you for watching. This is a series which will be looking at some more types of assessment issues in the future. We're very much interested to have some feedback from you. Please contact our marketing department in the About Us Centre section on the website.